We show how territorial approaches reveal potentials for the development of rural areas and enable better development planning on site. Zola lives in a village in Zambia with her family. They cultivate vegetables, fruits and maize. Many residents of Zola's village keep goats or have found work in a large mine operated by a private investor. Due to open-cast mining, the nearby forest is shrinking. The village residents are also felling trees to make charcoal. All have different interests, and this causes disputes. Who may use how much land for their activities? Pressure on land is compounded by the effects of climate change. The population is growing, and so is the demand to provide enough food, jobs, and energy. How could this be solved? The territorial approach helps to understand what Zola and her neighbors in the village need in order to have a good life. Challenges and potentials of all stakeholders are identified on site. The territorial approach helps Zola and her community to find solutions and compromises together. And exactly how does that work? The basis is to understand who lives in Zola's village, which activities the residents are engaged in, and what this means for the resources and future needs. Based on this information, scenarios are prepared on how the territory should develop over the long term, always in consideration of sustainability. Now Zola and her neighbors are thinking about solutions for the different land uses. Climate change and population growth are also taken into account. Many stakeholders have different interests. The important thing is to compromise. The territorial approach promotes a dialogue between the government, the local population, civic organizations, and the private sector. This leads to improved discussions about the use of resources and the future development opportunities for the village. Agriculture is the most important sector in Zola's territory. But the territorial approach also considers other sectors, such as mining, forestry, and infrastructure. All sectors are represented by different ministries. This requires a cross-sector discussion about the use of existing resources. Only then balanced concepts are possible for the development of Zola's village that also create perspectives in the long term. In Zambia, decentralization is progressing. This is a good prerequisite for a territorial approach. It promotes linkages on micro, meso, and macro levels. The regional administration in particular has an important coordinating function. This is where Zola's needs are taken up for regional planning. From there, Zola's needs are forwarded to the government. Here, they can be considered in sector strategies. Conversely, functioning decentralized structures facilitate the transfer of national development strategies to the local level. By promoting integrated development, Zola and her neighbors live in a well-functioning and sustainable territory. This also contributed to several SDGs at once. But Zola's territory is just one out of many. By interlinking several territories, additional value can be created at a larger scale. Locally, regionally, nationally, globally.